Hello, this is Dr. Linda Martinez-Louie. I want to mention that I have a current book available, an ebook called Recovering and Healing After the Narcissist. It's available at Amazon and with many other distributors. I want to speak about come out of the narcissist's shadow into your light. This podcast refers to both male and female narcissist. When we have been in darkness for a long time, like blindfolded prisoners, and come into the light of day, our eyes ache and protest with pain. We have become accustomed to the dark. With time, of course, our eyes and our entire being celebrate that we now live in full light where we belong. This metaphor applies to those who are and have shared their lives with narcissistic spouses. Deluded by their magnetic image, our belief that we are special to them, and their innumerable empty promises, and the endless masks that they wear, many women and men become their willing psychological prisoners. They have taken the irresistible bait, the potion of the narcissist's grand delusion. The narcissistic personality is an individual who lives in massive denial of reality. This person is not psychotic, but they believe in the very false image that they lead each day. They wear innumerable masks very cleverly, and that's one reason why they fool so many of us. For many spouses of the narcissist, it's very hard for them to think about not sharing the, in quotes, marriage with them, especially if they've been married to this individual for a long time. The spouses tend to take the blame and say, if I had been more patient with him, had loved him more, we would still be together. Or I needed to understand him or her better and forgive. Then our marriage would have worked. Why didn't I change? There is something seriously the matter with me. I am to blame for the breakup of our marriage. It is true that there is something the matter with all of us. We all carry within us a certain level of psychopathology, but that doesn't mean that we must remain imprisoned in a narcissistic relationship that is making us emotionally, psychologically, and physically ill, and destroying our chances of using our creative potential and entitlement to inner peace and freedom of thought, freedom of action, freedom of the imagination, freedom to use our many creative gifts. Now, there is a reckoning that comes for many spouses of narcissists when they know this is all going wrong, and yet they keep making excuses for the narcissistic spouse. There are other occasions where, after years of womanizing and leading a double or triple life, the narcissist flatly announces that the marriage is over, that he or she has found someone whom they love and is severing the marriage as quickly as possible. I find that this is not usually the case. What's usually going on is the spouse that is being so badly treated and abused is not being replaced as an official spouse. What the narcissist is doing is continuing to compartmentalize their lives, to have different affairs and dalliances, this kind of thing, and in secret is doing all of this at the same time insisting on staying in the marriage. Now, sometimes the non-narcissistic partner is providing unlimited narcissistic supplies for the narcissistic spouse. There is the image, of course, of the perfect marriage, the power couple. And there are many spouses who really fit into this role beautifully. They make the narcissist shine. They are the ones that have the social gifts and manners, and they can help to swell the image of the narcissistic personality. They are often very talented, very intelligent, very articulate, and they've accomplished a great deal in their own right. So after the marriage has gone down the road for several decades, why would the narcissist want to give up this person who's the perfect narcissistic supply to them? Finally, there is a time that comes, maybe several times that come during this non-marriage, when the non-narcissistic spouse simply cannot take it anymore. They are wiped out, they are exhausted, they may have some form of chronic stress that has turned into a chronic illness, like adrenal fatigue, or HPA axis disorder, or actually an autoimmune illness can occur in these circumstances. But after the decision is made and after the separation and divorce, the opportunity for moving forward into the light of a different consciousness and self-identity becomes clearer and clearer to the non-narcissistic spouse. Now, I'm not saying that separating and divorcing a narcissist is easy. It is complex and very difficult, because the narcissistic personality does not give up. They do not want to lose all the benefits of being married to someone who is a perfect image for them. And once they find out that the spouse is serious about the divorce, then they double down and they go into war mode. And that means that they hire the toughest barracuda attorneys that you can find. If you're in a situation where you've made this decision to divorce the narcissist, number one, put yourself first. Make sure also that you hire an excellent attorney who is your advocate at all times, whom you can reach at any time, who's looking out for you. The other thing is, be sure you keep very detailed records of your assets, of your properties, of the cash, of your investments, bank accounts. All this information must be kept separate, of course, from the narcissist. And you never tell them what you're going to be doing. It's not a good idea. I've had this happen. Do not. But be very methodical and detailed about the information that you have about what is going on the financial end. Because this is where so often clients get very, very unfairly treated, both by the narcissist attorneys, and by the courts. But those that really do their homework keep themselves on a very equal, in a very grounded way, by taking care of themselves and methodically keeping excellent records, as well as getting a very fine attorney. These are the ones that do well in the divorce process. After you have completed this process, you will find yourself being free for the first time in a very long time. No one is criticizing each move you're making, manipulating and intimidating you, you are facing the light and freedom. A sense of psychological cleansing and healing and recovering and restoration, evolving and thriving. Now, as you go through this process of separating out and individuating out of the marriage or non-marriage to the narcissistic spouse, you are really able to move forward on your own pathway with the full use of all your creative gifts. You're going to have a lot more physical, psychological, and emotional stamina. Find ways of exercising that work for you. This will help you tremendously in your process of restoration and recovery. Do what is best for you. You may want to do gentle yoga, which is an excellent way of moving forward, forming a wonderful relationship with the body-mind so that you can calm yourself, restore yourself, and move in to the parasympathetic zone, that part of our systems that is healing, calming, restorative, and creative. You also will discover in your freedom that there are so many creative gifts that you have that you had not been thinking about for decades, and they start to come forward. You may want to do some unedited creative writing each day with a pen so that you can take pen to paper and just let your thoughts, feelings, fantasies, reveries, whatever it is, flow right out from the very center of you onto the page, unedited. And you will discover great treasures in your unedited efforts. I'm so proud of you for taking this journey and moving into your own magnificent light, the light of the true, authentic self.